I remember, and this is probably the first time I'm ever share this publicly. But I remember, I literally don't know where it came from, but I think it's definitely something that's generational because I used to struggle with masturbation. I mean, probably for the better part of a decade. And literally don't know where it came from. It wasn't a show that I watched that showed me. It wasn't a person. I think it was something that the enemy just fought us with generationally. I think that is a part of it. Not to say, like that you didn't do what you were supposed to do because you went above and beyond to make sure that I was protected. But I think the enemy will get creative when he's trying to ruin the imaginations of children and pervert them. I, obviously, it's not something that I still struggle with. I remember personally, for me, going to church, okay, when I was young, and I remember like being in the bathroom one day, and the thought comes to me. I was like, Aisha, you're stronger than this. All you got to do is say, I don't want to do this anymore. Now, that's not everybody's testimony, okay? I know for some people it's harder than others. But for me, I was like, you're right. I'm better than this. I don't want to do this anymore. And I never struggle with it again. So I'm grateful, okay, that the Lord delivered me quickly and easily, because I know that it's more difficult for other people. I can remember driving to college, never had sex a day in my life, never experienced any of those things, and I'm driving the car, and I can feel the sensations all over my body, and I feel as if I'm having sex, and I'm like, whoa, like what is this? And at that point I knew that was a spiritual attack, and I would say that that's one of the moments in time where I really started to take my spiritual walk more seriously, because I'm like, the devil is he's not playing just to play, right? He is on the prowl, looking, searching for whom he may devour. And so I want to say that you did a phenomenal job. You did your job, but the enemy is cunning, and he is clever, and he is crafty, and he will put things in the imaginations of children. And so I think it is important to do what you did and just have those open, honest, vulnerable, sometimes awkward conversations.
Even like the videos I made you watch.
Completely block those out of my mind. I don't remember a single moment of them.
But it was necessary.
Yeah.
Or the question I'd ask you if it was starting to tingle.
Yeah. That's not the word you use. We're not going to say publicly what you used to say.
Oh, I know the word I used to say.
Yeah, we're not going to use that word. It's still gross.
It's the truth, though. Because I wanted to know where you were, where I used to tell you things like, you're going to grow up and, it's going to be time. There's going to be a time to date. I don't believe in dating when you're in high school and middle school and all of that. And I would say, just like a little girl, you had to wear your hair up in ponytails, with borettes and bobos. And then I said, eventually you got to wear your hair in ponytails with the ponytails curly. And then you got to wear your hair, half of it up and half of it down. And then eventually you could wear all of your hair down. I said, it's a process. And I said, that's how it is when it comes to dating. It's going to come, but it's a process. You're not ready for it yet. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to know if your body was starting to send you signals to make you think that, you wanted to have sex, because I wanted to have those conversations with you.
Baby, let me tell you, I never told you the truth, okay? Not once. I did not tell you none of the truth. Not a single time. And I think it was just an awkward conversation. Like, why is my mama asking me these questions? I wish she would leave me alone. Why?
Because I knew that's God created our bodies, for that.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be attracted to men. You're going to want to, just like little boys, they start to erect at a young age. It just starts growing on its own.
Yep.
Well, girls start having feelings down there on their own without having to do anything. And so as a mother, I wanted to know that, so that I could help guide you in that, so that you wouldn't turn to the masturbation, that you would know how to handle that.
Oh, at that point, it was already too late. I was almost out that thing by the end, okay? Because I started fairly young, okay? But I think for me, I wasn't ready to have those conversations with you. And I think it had less to do with necessarily being ready to have them. I didn't always feel comfortable, or I guess the word I could use is safe, having those conversations.
You thought you was going to get a whooping?
Every single time. Because, there would be moments, and it's still moments today, okay? I'd be scared because one moment we're like buddy, we best friends, we're talking on the phone, having a conversation, and then the next minute it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and you switch, and you be like, I'm still your mom, and I'd be like, whoa, we was just best friends. Like, what's going on? Like, I'm confused.
What are you talking about?
But even in that moment, like, we would be like joking, laughing, having a conversation, and it would be like, maybe I said one word that triggered you and you would know. Okay. It was like an immediate switch. And so there were moments where I didn't always feel comfortable having those conversations because I wasn't sure if you was going to flip your lid. Okay.
No, I was serious, wanting to know, not to be angry, but so that I could prepare you for those things that I knew were to come.
Yeah.
I mean, I know how strong lust is, even in our family.
Yeah. And I can appreciate that now. But back then, all I thought I was going to get in trouble.
No, if I'm having a conversation and I'm like, I need you to tell me. That's why we had to sometimes say, all right, you're not going to get in trouble for this.
That was never true. Okay? Cool. Because in the whooping 2 weeks from now, y'all going to remember.
But you didn't get a whooping for it then.
I'm getting beat for this and that, okay? You just put the whoopings together. Remember you said you don't get whoopings all the time when you needed them? Yeah. And then sometimes when you didn't deserve them, you get them for the stuff back then? Them was them back then whoopings. Where you be like, oh, you're not going to get in trouble for this.
And then you didn't get in trouble then?
Not then. But that didn't mean you didn't remember.
Girl.
I'm just saying. But I will say that, and we've had these conversations, you've preached about it, we've talked about it openly, that another thing that our family struggled with was anger.
Oh, yes.
And so I didn't always feel safe because I knew that was something that we struggled with, right? And then I think it was hard for me as a kid because you could blow up and get angry. But if I had a little attitude, if I felt some sort of way, I would get knocked out.
Because you was a kid.
Oh! Kids are going to grow up to be adults.
Mm-hmm.